Hello and welcome, fellow Warhammer enthusiasts. Today we have a review on Combat Patrol Drukhari, during which we'll cover potential savings, points values that you get from the models in the box, their usefulness in match play, and finally the box gameplay within the Combat Patrol mode. So let's start with the elephant in the room, money. The box will cost you £95, 125 euros or 160 US dollars. But if you'd like to buy models separately, you will need to spend a lot more. Here are the prices for each models: Archon, Incubi, Warriors, Raider, and the Ravager. The totals are as follows. We're looking here at around 38% discount. The question now arises, do you actually need all of those models in the match play? Are they any good in expanding your army? Fortunately, the answer to both is yes. All of those models find play in competitive games, and honestly it's very common for people to buy 2 or even 3 copies of this box. So what about points value that you get from it? Well, it's okay. In total it's 455 points, when most of the points come from 2 very useful vehicles. Remember that if you require, you can assemble the Ravager as a Raider instead. This is useful when buying more than a single box. But if you're a new player and it's your very first army, you should first focus on easier games. And that brings us to the Combat Patrol games. So your army during the Combat Patrol is fixed, and you're using all the models from the box. You also have all the weapons fixed. Here's a summary on those. Pay attention to the weapons on your vehicles, as those are your army heavy hitters. Drukhari are a fallen Eldari cursed by hunger for pain. Unfortunately for the rest of the galaxy, they've managed to figure out how to use it to their advantage and strengthen themselves by it. That brings us to your army ability, the power from pain. During the game you collect pain tokens. You can use d6 dice for them. You gain 1 at the start of the battle, 1 each time you wipe out whole enemy unit, and 1 each time enemy fails battle shock test. At the start of any phase you can spend 1 or more of those to make your units stronger, granting them a reroll on advance or charge roll, or provide your units with a reroll to hit rolls this turn. It is quite fun in Combat Patrol, and lore-wise it can make you feel that you really play as Drukhari. You also have an access to 2 enhancements for your Archon. Those are on extra abilities that you choose 1 of 2 before the setup of the battlefield. The default one grants Archon and his unit an ability to negate wound after a failed save on a 5+. The other one allows your Archon unit to shoot and charge after this unit has fallen back. Both of those are great, but for your first games, I'll recommend Shadowrun Bottle. It's simpler. To win the battle, you need to score points, and primary mission is not the only method. You also are required to select 1 of 2 secondary objectives. Your possible choices are Rapacious Riders and Murderous Monster. The first one is scored when you're very aggressive and you manage to bring your units to enemy deployment. It sounds difficult, but your vehicles make this possible. The Murderous Monster, on the other hand, is scored whenever your Archon kills an enemy model. This one is slower, but honestly safer. Both are good for new player, so feel free to experiment. During the game you have access to 3 stratagems. Each of them costs 1 command point. You get those at the beginning of each player turn. Quicksilver reactions make it more difficult for the opponent to hit your infantry. That means Warriors or Incubi. Many cuts grant you sustained hits 1. So every time you roll a 6, you get 2 hits instead of a 1. This, however, can target Warriors or Incubi and requires the enemy unit to be somehow damaged. Your vehicles can help you with that, though, by shooting the target fast. Lastly, there is Dare and Gone. This one is a simple one. It allows your infantry to embark on your Raider at the end of your opponent's fight phase, to make a run for it. The very last are the datasheets. They do vary from the match play, and honestly, they are nerfed. However, still very powerful. You have a very strong Warlord with an amazing save and a powerful melee weapon, standard and very shooty battle line to which your Archon can be attached. Remember, your Raider have a firing deck 11 ability, so your Warriors and your Warlord can shoot from inside it. Then you have Incubi, a heavy infantry that is strong in melee, have an ability that causes battle shock, so a chance to get a free pain token. And last but not least, there is the Ravager, your very own monster. Those are one of the biggest guns in the Combat Patrol. And that brings us to the conclusion. What you get from it? A near perfect start to collect Drukhari in the 10th edition, especially when you're looking at the Sky Splinter Assault detachment. That's a 10 out of 10. Savings? around 38%, so 7 out of 10. Points value, 455. Again, it's okay, 6 out of 10. Gameplay within combat patrol type games? This one is one of the strongest, 9 out of 10. So in total, 32 out of 40 points. If you're interested in Drukhari, then this is a great start. A great way to expand your army as well. So now is a question to you. Would you give Drukhari a go? See you in the next review.